Hello, college. Today I had a terrible day. I tried to teach history to eighth grade, and nobody paid attention to me. It was horrible.
Seriously? Have you tried to implement drama in your classes? There are many techniques. For example, I prefer to use the hot sitting technique because this is a character of characters played by the teacher or students are interviewed by the rest of the group. This technique is very interesting and interactive and makes the students fire their imagination. If you don't like this technique, you could use another one. I've heard too that Brenda used the technique of a teacher in a role, and it works great for her.
Yes, Bibi. Teacher in a role is a drama technique, as we know, and here the teacher assumes the role in relation to the student. For example, in the history class, you can be Cristobal Colon, for example, and your students can be the mariners, for example.
Well, these two techniques are interesting, but Viviana, could you give us an example of how to apply the hot setting techniques in class?
Of course, for example, a student will sit on the seat up from there. He will adopt the name of a historical or famous person, as well as common people. After having the character, you can ask the students to investigate both their points of view, positives and negatives, so that in this way, the class warms them up as a part of a debate.
Wow, it sounds easy. I know the technique called still image or freeze frame. It is used to make a visual image, such as a photograph in a play. This is done so that understand the seriousness of the scene to facial expressions. For example, in the classroom, you can say that students make a pose or gesture of a painting or a scene of a famous television program, and another student must guess what painting or TV program it is. I will explain to you in a more clear way. I'm going to make a gesture, and Brenda, you are going to guess the scene or the painting that I am imitating.
Okay. Of course, I know it's the screen. I
Yes.
so much. Yeah.
I like this technique. In fact, I could apply it to my students to inspire them, but actually I prefer to use the mode technique, Mantle of Experiment, where it involves the creation of a fictional world, where students assume the roles of expert in a designated file. I think it is a good technique.
Daya, could you give us an example about this technique?
Right. We could apply it in examples like that. For example, the teacher enrolled as the museum director wants to commission a short documentary film about the history of the Tungurahua volcano, for example. The students in the role as a filmmakers are asked to create this film, do their own research and reenactments of various events. It's a great example of this technique.
Wow, Diana, your technique is very creative and interesting, but I use a technique that allows more interactivity between students.
Could you tell us more about this technique?
Yes, but absurd. And my technique is called conscience allay. This technique is useful for exploring any type of dilemma a character is facing, providing an opportunity to analyze a defining moment in greater detail. For example, in class you work from two lines facing each others.
Could you give an example to apply in the class?
Yes, a clear example could you be that when one of the class is divided into groups, uh, or one of the groups will say negative things about a specific topic, for example, global warming, and the other group will say positive things about this topic. The students who is in the medium should choose which direction to go.
Okay, for me, I like another technique. I prefer use truth tracking.
Can you tell me what the technique consists of a truth tracking, Doris?
Okay, to tracking is when a character instead of a scene, and the audience say that the feelings, sharing thoughts in this way, and provides a deeper insight into the character for the audience. I can say that this is an effective way to exploring a character in a scene, and obviously the truth of the audience. The tracking is a natural for still images and free frames. As an example, the student may want to imagine objectives or animals, and still imagine, and this is fine. As an animal, maybe a lion, you can use characters or some sounds, maybe roar or angry, and find and try to guess this animal is and how feel about this. Tracking is can easily to apply in the class with the children, obviously.
Okay, thank you, fellow students. You really helped me a lot with these techniques, and I will definitely apply them in class. Goodbye, and thanks again.
Bye, Sebas.
Sebas.
Bye, Sebastian.